Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nel.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about bottle cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In this bulletin, National Federation Party to elect a new leader in March. Health Ministry addressing basic needs at CWM Hospital. And North Village wants to break away from its tikina. Good evening, welcome to FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. The National Federation Party will appoint its leader at the annual general meeting scheduled for the end of March. Raman Pratap Singh has been running the show as president, but the AGM will decide who will take the NFP into the elections. Christopher Chand reports.
Economist and NFP stalwart Professor Biman Prasad has today said he hasn't made any commitments on standing in the elections when asked if he is interested in the leadership role. The NFP has indicated they're looking at a new politician to take the helm.
By the AGM, I'm sure we'll have a party leadership announced. And suffice to say, it has to bring a fresh face into politics. So that's all. And I can say at the moment, but the party is working on that as well.
Atar Singh and Parmod Rai aren't eligible due to their roles with trade unions. The NFP will have to look to its other members.
Do you want to be the party leader?
I wouldn't like to make a comment now, but we'll see how things go. No?
The party's first working committee meeting was held here in Ba today, where it's been decided that Nandi will host its annual general meeting towards the end of March or in April. That is when the party's manifesto will also be released.
The work on the manifesto has already started. It's been done, and we have got certain mandates from the members today. So our timeline is that by the AGM we'll have the manifesto completed.
At the meeting today, Kamal Ayer has been appointed acting General Secretary after Vishwanathan vacated the role to concentrate on being a branch president. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Not having some basic items is a problem for hospitals around Fiji, and none more so than the Colonial War Memorial Hospital. The facility is being developed to provide the highest level of care for Fijians. But as Ritika Pratap reports, it's not as easy as it sounds.
The plan is to have 500 beds and 13 operating theatres at CWM by the end of the year.
Whilst we strengthening our surgical numbers and we are ensuring that the right number of people are being trained every year, whilst we developing the operating facilities and ensuring that the supply line to the theatre with linen, with medication, with anesthetic agents is appropriate. There's enough nurses to operate in that area. So all these things are put into that jigsaw puzzle.
There's been a lot of money spent on new equipment and high-tech machinery. But Medical Superintendent Dr. Jemesa Tunravu says it's the basic materials that the hospital really needs.
Are we talking about gloves, needles, syringes, dressings? So all these are covered under consumables.
The problem is none of these materials are made locally. The hospital relies on suppliers to load up tons of materials on a ship and send it over, while keep up a constant supply. Despite this, services have been largely unaffected.
What we are currently having, we're able to satisfactorily deliver the service to the public, and we're able to meet our targets on a weekly, monthly basis.
Surgeries at CWM were delayed last month. Operations usually are reduced over the Christmas and New Year's period.
Everybody goes on holiday, and so it happens every year where there is a downtime to the surgical services at the hospital. So during this time, we'll be pushing back cases that could be electively done when we only focus on emergency operations.
A shortage of anesthetists is an issue for adequate service delivery.
Some of our anesthetists have gone abroad for training. Others are in, serving with the peacekeeping forces in Syria. So what happens is we are in the process of recruiting anesthetists. An anesthetist has just joined the service 2 days ago. There is the possibility of 2 more joining shortly.
CWM is leading the transition of medical service delivery around Fiji. In the end, things will get better, waiting time will be reduced, and according to the minister, all staff will be required to communicate better with the patients. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The village of Sawani in Boa has resolved to sever ties with the Tikina of Nandi, a move that could shake the traditional structure of the province. Mikalonga reports the village is frustrated over poaching of marine resources and its traditional fishing ground.
The Vanua of Sawani has made its intentions clear to the Native Land Commission in this letter. It wants to return to the Tikina of Solevu.
We had already made a traditional request to break away from the Tikina of Nandi because we were not happy with the abuse of our share of fishing ground and it's not respected like before.
According to the elders, the Vanua of Sawani was originally part of the Nambukambuka clan in Makule, Solevu, and that the traditional links still exist. This move by the village of Sawani is expected to create ripples across the province of Mbua. Villagers feel that the respect for traditional rights just isn't there anymore, eroding the once strong relations.
The traditional practice in the past is that the alleged poachers, some of them from the neighboring villages, would present a formal request to harvest the resources from our fishing ground for the purpose of fundraising or development needs.
Emosi Tobuto says the Vanua of Sawani relies more on its marine resources to fund development projects. He and his people are questioning the issuance of fishing licenses that's resulting in the abuse of their fishing ground. The alleged poachers are after beach timber and other sea cucumbers like these.
Approval for fishing licenses must be first approved by the village council and is submitted to the Tikina council by myself before it is signed by the Mbulnabere who heads the Tikina of Nandi.
I'm never informed of the number of fishing licenses issued. I had to make inquiries myself.
The fisheries officer in Nambowalu, Thomas Idhama, has confirmed that 20 fishing licenses have been issued so far this year to individuals in the Tikina of Nandi, with many applications pending. No applications have been received from Sawani village as yet. An urgent meeting of elders in the Tikina of Nandi with relevant government agencies is scheduled to take place in Nambowalu, Vanua Levu this week, where it's hoped that the Vanua of Sawani will have a change of heart. Mikalonga, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the fish warden for Sawani village in the Tikina of Nandi in Bua is concerned for his security and the security of fellow villagers. Asaili Drungu says alleged poachers of their marine resources have allegedly threatened their lives with verbal abuses and weapons. He stressed the need for fish wardens to be properly equipped and supported in their work by relevant government agencies.
I don't see any support. Thus, my duty as fish warden is useless. I am stuck in the current situation.
Nambowalu Fisheries Officer Tomasi Dhama says he will be accompanied by police next week to villages in the Tikina of Nandi to check on poachers and warn them against illegal fishing. Meanwhile, the head of the Nambowalu police station, Eroni Songosongo, says they have yet to receive a formal complaint from the fish warden. Coming up after the break, tourism expert says concerted effort will pay dividends.
Mbula FM rek tale taki
Gonga elambasa Mbula FM namba do na serre
Ndo tale tak na borong en Mbula FM namba do na serre su
Au waitu tu garaki au rebati ko ni stima au ndo tale tak na borong en Mbula
Kola bina Fiji Mbula FM namba do esenga toka
Bola bina era roga Mbula FM namba do tikoga
Mbula FM namba do en serre
Welcome back here with FBC News. Fiji's tourism industry is making a concerted effort to take the sector to greater heights, and cooperation is the key. Fiji Hotel and Tourism Operators Association President Dixon Sito says all the reforms are in place and they've set an ambitious target of 700,000 visitors this year.
Fiji Airways' 5-year strategic plan has set the platform and given industry experts a clear picture of how Fiji will progress in terms of tourists to our shores.
I mean, he certainly said it with a lot of clarity about his 5-year plan. I know that some of the plans are obviously being developed. The new route structure, obviously, I'm certain that Air Pacific, Fiji Airways, that is, will spread its wings much further afield to some new destinations, maybe.
Dixon Sito says Fiji has about 20% of visitor returnees, and we are also becoming popular in Asian markets. He says Fiji Airways' plans for direct links in Asia has given operators hope. The Tourism Ministry is also working on a 5-year strategic plan.
I'm sure that all this will work in synergy because Fiji Airways is also part of the stakeholders that will be participating in shaping the new 5-year plan. And we need to get all the factors right. We definitely need the airlines to bring the people here. And while they're here, we need the hotels and the activities firstly to house them and keep them occupied.
Industry stakeholders have formed a marketing committee working towards a common goal.
Fiji Airways will, I think, capture a lot more of the market. And as long as we in Fiji make sure that we make Fiji a very desirable and enjoyable destination to come to, we'll continue to reap the benefits.
Australia and New Zealand remain Fiji's traditional markets and contributed 65% to arrivals. However, the Asian market is forecast to be the next big growth area. Asians usually travel in large groups and are known to have disposable income. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
John Wesley College in Rewanga Suva can now accommodate more children from the area thanks to new facilities. A classroom block and a new library are ready for the new school year, which began last week. Vosita Kotewasawasa reports.
The school roll at John Wesley College has increased this year after the phasing out of Lautala Bay Secondary School.
And most of the students who are here in Lautala Bay Secondary are the ones in Rewanga and Watuanga area.
This new classroom and library block could not have come at a better time.
The roll has already been increasing from past months, and I think this school really need to upgrade the facilities, need more classrooms to facilitate the students who are coming in.
The new facilities were funded by the Commissioner Central's office to the tune of $59,000. Lieutenant Colonel Laisia Satuitumbo says they are stepping in where help is needed most.
So they shouldn't be supported because of the location. It's in the Venezuela. But we had the survey and majority of the parents here live below poverty.
According to school principal Chochi Nakaora, the new facilities will go a long way for students in the Rewai and Rewanga areas. This, along with the free education initiative, will guarantee proper learning at this school. Vasita Kotewasawasa, FBC News.
Fiji and Lithuania have formalized diplomatic relations at a ceremony at the Fiji mission to the United Nations in New York. Permanent representative of Lithuania to the United Nations, Ambassador Raimonda Momakait, and her Fijian counterpart, Ambassador Peter Thompson, signed a joint communique establishing diplomatic relations between the two nations. The communique calls for the promotion and strengthening of friendship and cooperation between the two states in political, economic, cultural, humanitarian, and other fields. Following the formalization ceremony, Ambassadors Momakait and Thompson held talks on areas of common interest between their two countries. Fiji, for the first time, will soon have a national qualification for security and mine workers. The government is facilitating this after noting a huge demand locally and abroad for workers in these two professions. Epeli Tukuwasa reports.
In light of the increasing demand in these two sectors, the government has developed a national qualification for security and mine workers.
We're looking at our local security firms who have been registered to be able to deliver the program security. And likewise for mining, FNU would be
one of the most proper one. And then we have a few other TVET centers like Montfort and a few others.
Edina Isele says there have been numerous requests from abroad, especially Papua New Guinea, for workers in these two sectors. However, more upskilling is needed to meet potential employers' demands.
We are looking forward to the completion of these qualifications because of the marketability of the graduate that will complete the programs, not only in Fiji but out there within the region and outside of Fiji.
The initiative by the Fiji Higher Education Commission has been applauded by representatives of the security industry.
For long, the security industry has been undermined in regards to a proper qualification for each workforce. I believe that what they have started now is going to be mutually beneficial for everyone.
The move to national qualifications is also applauded by those in the mining industry.
I think what the government has done is really great, because if you really look back at all these institutions, training institutions, there is no course for people who want to be involved in mining. We have courses in other industries except for this mining.
Professional training is expected to create more jobs as demand from local and overseas companies grows. Epeli Tukwasa, FBC News.
Fiji will be represented at a South Pacific tourism meeting to promote and market our tourism industry. We will be part of 16 Pacific Island nations trying to outdo each other in promoting their country as the best destination in the South Pacific. Aliti Viravo reports.
SPTO Chief Executive Officer Ilivindra Keti announced that for the first time a South Pacific Tourism Exchange will be held in Auckland this year. This will see businesses from Europe, Australia and New Zealand meet with tourism stakeholders in the South Pacific to build business relationships.
We get a buyer who's looking forward to, who wishes to see a specific seller. So we get them to meet for about 15 minutes per session, and then they move on to the next meeting. So it allows the buyers and the sellers to make maximum use of the limited time.
The budget for the event hasn't been revealed, but SPTO has confirmed it'll cost the tens of thousands of dollars. Work is now underway to get the buyers and sellers interacting and deciding on what must be brought to the table when they meet in New Zealand on the 23rd of May.
SPTE 2014 will be the ideal event for international wholesalers wishing to grow their business into Pacific Island destinations. And likewise, Pacific Island countries get the opportunity to promote and grow their business.
The timing of SPTO 2014 has been done in such a way that it coincides with the conclusion of Trends. Trends is New Zealand's highest tourism and exchange trade show, and the SPTO hopes that those who come to Trends will include SPTE 2014 in their itinerary. Aliti Vervo, FBC News.
In sports, Athletics Fiji says back to business after hitting a rough patch. And 18 years running, Bar hangs on to the champion versus champion title.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Singapore.
और किसके सुनिए यार, हमारा एक सच्चा साथी है मिर्ची एफएम लंबा साथी.
I love Mirchi FM. It's so hot. देखे में लाल लाल, खाए में हाय हाय. Tangi tangi taupo में Mirchi FM is hot.
Here at Rugby Town, Singapore, love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Suva. It's hot.
हम वंगली लंबा सा में रहता है. तो क्या बताएं हम मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है.
Mirchi FM, बहुत जुलूम जुलूम.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Leading FBC Sports tonight, the Fiji Sevens rugby side will play Wales in the Bowl semi-finals tomorrow after defeating Uruguay 31-14 in the quarter-finals at the Las Vegas Sevens. Fiji was relegated to the Bowl competition following their 12-7 defeat to New Zealand earlier this morning. South African referee Rasta Rasavange missed several crucial calls against Fiji that may have had a bearing on the final result. These were picked up, however, by the IRB citing commissioner, who has dished out penalties accordingly to New Zealand duo Sam Dickinson and George Tills. Fiji-born Kiwi flyer Waisake Naholo was also cited for a spear tackle on Fiji skipper Osea Kolinisel. Fiji will take on Wales in the ball semi-finals at 6:25 a.m. tomorrow. Bar secured the Pillay Garments Champion vs Champion series for a record 18th time at Churchill Park yesterday. Osea Vakatalisa once again stepped up to the mark to seal victory for the men in black with a 3-2 victory over Nandi. Chalendau Dakadaka reports.
Bar striker Osea Vakatalisa was sure he was going to score the winner after receiving the nod from teammate Avines Waranswamy.
Well, when Avi went to take the corner, he already signaled it to me, and he said the ball is going to come to me. That's why I took that run. He told me take the near post. I took that run, and the ball perfectly fell in my direction.
The fighting spirit within the Bar camp has always impressed the coach.
We are proud, and we thank the Almighty and the boys for having faith in whatever they have done throughout from the first series till today. And they have really showed that yes, they can fight back. In the first game we were losing, we came back. Second game we were losing, we came back. And today we were winning. They came back, but we came back to win this championship.
Bar will celebrate their spoils for now before turning the focus towards the National Football League. Chalendau Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
Suva defeated Navua 3-1 in their Fiji Sun Skipper Tuna National Football League clash at ANZ Stadium in Lothala Bay, Suva. Striker Samuel Ndundu bagged 2 goals and Nikhil Chand contributed another for the capital city side. Navua benefited from an own goal by Suva's Charlene Law. Meanwhile, Rewa put on a remarkable comeback to beat Lautoka 3-2 last night at Ratudakambau Park and grab its second win. Albert Miller has been reinstated as President of Athletics Fiji after the special general meeting held yesterday at Fasanox Olympic House in Suva. None of the members of the Interim Executive Committee attended the meeting, and the affiliates voted unanimously that Miller, as well as the previous committee, be retained. Chalendau Dakadaka has more.
The special general meeting held yesterday saw some major changes to the leadership within Athletics Fiji.
Basically, the meeting was called by our affiliates, clubs. According to our constitution, either when you look at a minimum of 2 clubs can call a meeting to sort out certain issues regarding to athletics, the sport of athletics in Fiji. That's basically how this whole thing started. After my removal as the president by Dr. Alakija and her colleagues.
Miller says the interim committee did not have the power to remove anyone from their position. The committee has also welcomed 2 new faces in Joseph Roden Jr. and Salote Wanganivalu.
I've always been confident that whatever transpired was illegal, and that was proven in the special general meeting, which, by the way, is the ultimate authority on the sport of athletics in Fiji. You have the SGM and the AGM.
Attempts to get a comment from former interim president Dr. Ayode Alakija were unsuccessful. Miller hopes that the association can finally turn their back on this issue and look towards more pressing matters such as the Youth Olympic squad, which is currently preparing for the qualifiers in Australia this March. Chalendau Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
It was a mixed bag today. Fine conditions prevailed in most places, with some cloudy conditions in the capital. There is a chance of thunderstorms later in the evening. Another hot day in all major centres. Lambasa topped the list at 33 degrees, while all other locations recorded 32 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast is fine weather in the morning, turning into possible thunderstorms in the afternoon or evening. And for Tuesday, some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, showers, especially in the afternoon or evening. Isolated afternoon or evening thunderstorms are expected. A quick recap before we go. National Federation Party will choose a new leader in March to take the NFP into the elections. Health Ministry addresses a shortage of basic items at CWM Hospital. And tourism market confident of reaching 700,000 visitors this year. This week we ask, is our Sevens team to Las Vegas Ben Ryan strongest since his appointment as coach. Visit the FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. Or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your tips at FBC News or simply #FBC News. That's news for tonight. Join Jackie and the team from tomorrow. I'll see you next weekend. Good night.
Ito singa ta kondo tali ta na paro na radio Fijuan na station yal motua.
Ako na poro ko na tali ta. Mandau tali ta kiti na paro radio Fijuan.
Kitongo isu untuk tali ta na paro na radio Fijuan station yal motua.
Keto tali ta na radio Fijuan. Na radio Fijuan ento tali ta kitalanga sintoka.
Station di Machino Pinatia na radio Fijuan. Kokwa pe yan.
Na Radio Fijuan nandu mo ibiti na bonga ni BNN.